Forget the woman telling you what a real man is and they didn't even grow up with a dad. Forget those people. You still matter. The fact that you're here watching this video is a blessing not only to me, but I think it's a blessing ultimately to the universe. I know this is not in the scope of the video, but I wanted to touch on that because I think that's what really matters and that's what's really important. You matter, bro. Don't let anyone tell you anything different. The company behind these apps is thriving on your loneliness, your endless scrolling, and those nights where you're alone, beating your meat, drowning your sorrows. It's time to expose this sinister billion-dollar business. In this video, we're going to be looking at the top dating apps, Tinder, Bumble, and Hinge, to uncover how they are potentially scamming you and profiting off of your loneliness. First on the list is Tinder. Now with Tinder, there's way more men on this app than there are women, so it's already a lopsided playing field. This imbalance makes it nearly impossible for the average guy to stand out while boosting the ego of the average or even below average woman. Not only is it lopsided in the sense that there's more men than women, it's also lopsided in the sense of who has the higher self-esteem. The biggest discrepancy that this lopsidedness causes is that you have every woman thinking that they're a 10, and you have every dude thinking that they're not even worth loving. But that's the point. Like, you don't want your biggest consumer base, men, to actually get into a relationship and actually work on themselves and actually feel like they are deserving of love. Because if you do that, then you lose a whole bunch of money. One thing I've also noticed when I used to use the apps is when you delete them, they ask you why you delete them. I think the reason why they ask that question is so they can make it even more addicting and get even more money from its primary consumers. The second thing wrong with Tinder is this nefarious 80-20 rule. Now, this rule has been called the 80-20 rule, the 90-10 rule, the 99-1 rule. It's basically saying that 20% of men get 80% of the women. And we know this from so many different studies, so many different experiments, people going on the app and just seeing what it's like being an average man versus being a super attractive man, or what it's like being an average woman as opposed to an attractive man. Women have the pick of the litter on these apps. And when you have the pick of the litter, it's not going to promote healthy habits and healthy things that you need to be in a good relationship. Things like empathy, things like compassion. These apps don't promote that at all. These apps promote instant gratification and how to be addicted to social media. The third thing that's wrong with Tinder is that the average guy has to pay to pretty much be rejected. You have to pay for the boost. You have to pay for all of the premium features that come with that just to be ignored or flaked on or disrespected or demeaned by all the women that are on these apps. Meanwhile, a guy who's the top guy can get on one of these apps and say the absolute most heinous and dirty, disgusting things and still get more matches than you can. And it's supposed to be a relationship app, but it doesn't do anything to promote good relationships. And I'm not saying this to hate on the guys who are Chads, who are Tyrones. I'm just simply saying you have to know what you're up against when you go on these apps and you download them. You have to know what the playing field is, because if you go into it with one type of expectations and then you get a completely different outcome, that's how a lot of people go black pill. And then when you go black pill, it's really hard to come back from that. That's not what this channel is about. That's not what I believe in. But I understand why it happens. So I'm just trying to give you guys more and more information to really help you guys out along the way. The next thing wrong with Tinder is the freemium business model app. Now, this model exists in all of the apps, but Tinder really made this popular. What the freemium model app is it'll have some of the features that are free. You can swipe, you can even see who likes you. And when you first get on the app, it's going to match you with the most attractive people. As you're on the app more and they want more money from you, they're slowly going to start taking a lot of those freedoms away, making you want to pay for it. This is a problem because as soon as you put money down on the table, boom, you're right back to getting no matches. You get nobody, nobody's paying attention to you, and you're right back to having a miserable experience. But now you're out $50 or $100. I think Tinder even has a premium plan now that goes up to $300. This model drains your wallet, it messes with your mental health, and it plays with their emotions. But don't worry, by the end of this video, I'm going to give you guys tips on how to break free of the clutches of these horrible, horrible apps. Next up on the list is Bumble. Now, I used to be a huge fan of Bumble because women had to message you first. That cut down a lot of the guesswork. It made it very clear who liked you, at least enough to send a message. But those same women came out with a lot of backlash towards the company, and then Bumble took away that feature. Bumble right now, as it stands, is pretty much just Tinder with a different coat of paint. Bumble suffers from the exact same issues that Tinder does, but Bumble also has a social media aspect attached to it, which keeps people perpetually on the apps, even if they're already in a relationship. It's not just Bumble dating. It's Bumble business, it's Bumble friends, but that's a horrible slippery slope, which we'll get into later in this video. Social media is a killer. to a good relationship. It doesn't always have to be, but how people are set up and how our culture is in America, it's definitely not a good thing to be putting all of your business out on social media. And the biggest dating app of all, Instagram, is the biggest culprit and all of that. A lot of how Instagram works is outside of the scope of this video, but I'll definitely be doing a video on that soon. But do not put your entire relationship on social media. Don't do it. Next up on the list is Hinge. Now, Hinge is marketed as the app that's made to be deleted, but since its initiation in 2012, it's only grown larger and larger as a company. Now, admittedly, I don't have a whole lot of experience with Hinge, but after speaking to a couple of people and downloading the app for this video, it's no different than any of the other apps. Swipe right if you thick, swipe left if you sick. It's the same thing. It's all the same thing, but it's just marketed to be for people that are a bit more serious with their time, but you still have women that are on there in nothing but bathing suits trying to promote their OnlyFans. It's all the same thing. It's the same thing with a different marketing scheme and a different PR team, but it's still selling you the idea that you deserve better and that the person that you're currently with isn't good enough. The company behind these apps is thriving on your loneliness, your endless scrolling, and those nights where you're alone, beating your meat, drowning your sorrows. It's time to expose this sinister billion-dollar business, Match Group. It owns Bumble, the girl boss app. It owns Tinder, the ultimate hookup app. And it owns Hinge, the serious relationship app. But they're all just different flavors of the same poison. I've stated in a different video before that I do believe that hookup culture is one of the main things that's plaguing young people especially. These apps are the bloodline to that system. Without these apps, you really don't have a hookup culture. Without Instagram, without Tinder, you don't have access to people like that. But these apps make it to where you could be in one country, swipe on a girl on a completely different continent, and then if you have money, fly her out to come see you. Doesn't matter if she has a husband, doesn't matter what she has going on, you can ruin all of that with the press of a button. When you're only one swipe away from finding your potential person, anytime you get into an argument, anytime you get into a conversation that you didn't like, or the person that you're with makes you feel bad or less than, what's stopping you from just downloading this app again and completely throwing away your relationship? I know for a fact that I've definitely been in this situation before. When I had a good woman, I had good women around me, but I was always stuck in the state of like, well, I can do better. If she's not trying to do this, then I can do that. Especially when I was indulging in nothing but red pill content. I was just looking at like, you know, men can cheat and it's totally okay. And it's natural for men to want to have a whole bunch of women.
Yeah, boy.
And all of these things that just aren't good for relationships. It's kind of a double-edged thing, because if you're below here as a man, let's say this is the threshold. If you're under that threshold as a man, you don't get anybody. You're invisible, okay? And that's a horrible, horrible life to live, and that sucks. But then once you get past that, you still have to make the conscious effort and conscious decision to be a good person. Now, it's not to say that men that have multiple women are bad people. That's not the point that I'm making. The point that I'm making is a lot of times people don't understand that men spend most of their life underneath that barrier for entry. And then when they finally get there, they're going to do all of the things that you've been doing for the past 20 years. That doesn't make them a bad person. It simply makes them human. To the men that are doing that, though, you have to understand that that's only fun for a certain amount of time. For some dudes, that's their life. Some guys live the free agent lifestyle and they're absolutely happy and they love it. If that's what you want to do, 100% go for it. But if you're a younger guy watching these videos and you just think that that's what's right, that's not necessarily the case. It's totally fine to just have one woman and raise a good family, and she respects you and you love her and you raise the kids and you ride off into the sunset happily ever after. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. It doesn't make you beta. It doesn't make you a simp to want to just have one woman. However, it does make you beta and it does make you a simp if you have one woman and you're always providing and you're doing your part as the man, but she's not doing her part as the woman, and you fail to address that. And that's part of the reason why I think a lot of these red pill channels and things like that harp so hard on, look, man, you're a good dude. You need to realize your value. I 100% understand that. And to some degree, I agree with it. It all ties into the dating apps. This billion-dollar corporation is profiting off of your loneliness and off of you devaluing yourself. You have to understand, even if you are just an average man, even if you are 5'2" and you make $30,000 a year, you are still valuable as a human being. You still matter. you still mean something. And your existence on this planet is not futile by any stretch of the imagination. Forget what the internet tells you. Forget these women saying, oh, you have to be 6 feet tall. You have to make this much money. Forget all of that. Forget the woman telling you what a real man is and they didn't even grow up with a dad. Forget those people. You still matter. The fact that you're here watching this video is a blessing not only to me, but I think it's a blessing ultimately to the universe. I know this is not in the scope of the video, but I wanted to touch on that because I think that's what really matters and that's what's really important. You matter, bro. Don't let anyone tell you anything different. Now, these corporations are actually really sinister and really evil because they are profiting off of your loneliness. And how are they going to fix that? They're going to start implementing AI into pretty much every aspect of their apps, anywhere from having an AI wingman to actually just being with an AI partner. And that's scary to me. That's really dystopian. That sounds abnormal. It sounds crazy. It sounds weird. But look around us. We live in a world where in a Christian country, you can throw out a devil statue in a church and then the person who threw out that statue gets arrested. Or you have a woman who is an adult sleeping with a boy who is a child, gets pregnant, and then that woman doesn't go to jail. Pay a little bit of attention and you'll see that the world is actually going to hell in a handbasket. So us dating robots really doesn't seem too far off. All right, we understand the problem. We understand, okay, dating sucks. Dating apps don't help. They're trying to make me devalue myself as a man. I understand the problem, but now please teach me how to escape. So that's what we're going to get into right now. How to escape. Understand that these apps are just tools. If you're the type of guy who is a 1% guy and you're totally fine with just living the free agent lifestyle for now, use the apps because it's meant for you. It's meant for you. If you're, let's say, an 8 on the scale, you're in good shape, you have good money, you have the ability to travel and go pretty much anywhere in the world, use these apps. You'll be racking up bodies like it's nobody's business. It's absolutely insane. Still, go out, be out in public, be more social. Understand your inner game as well as your outer game. Your inner game is things like how you talk to people, how you present yourself, your tone of voice, things of that nature. And your outer game is your face, your looks, your body game, etc. Your aura, or Riz, as young kids are calling it. Work on all of those things. Use the apps just to facilitate who you actually are, as opposed to using the apps to formulate your entire identity. Understand the best time to actually use the apps. For example, when I was living in England, for about 4 years and wanted to take a trip out to Spain. And this was around the time where Tinder was cool, but I was kind of like, I don't really like messaging all these women and not hear anything back from them. So I downloaded Bumble, got on Bumble, and I was out in Barcelona. I downloaded Bumble, let's say April 1st, and I plan on taking a trip April 8th. Now, I did have to pay for the premium features just to move my location, but it was well worth it. In those 7 days, I had about 102, 103 matches. Damn! And it was a lot of fun. Went out to Barcelona, did what I did. It was cool, but I had to have that understanding of like, this is a one-time thing. I'm going on a trip. I'm single. I got the money to do whatever I want. I'm going to go out and I'm going to have fun. And then right after that, after I left Spain, I got right back to work. I deleted the app and I kept it pushing. The next thing you have to do is get comfortable being alone. There's a big difference between being alone and being lonely. Picture this. You're in a dark room. There's music going. There's lights flickering. And you look around, you look up. There's about 100 people in this room. You look to your left, you look to your right. This chick has blue hair. She's overweight. This guy, he looks like he's never worked out a day in his life. You look around and you realize that you have absolutely nothing in common with any of these people. Being in a room full of people you have absolutely nothing in common with is a far more lonely experience than being by yourself and working on your goals and your purpose. Get comfortable with being alone. Sit with your thoughts, read books, practice stoicism, understand yourself. So when other people come with questions, hey, why do you believe this? Why do you believe that? Oh, I believe this, this, and that because boom, boom, boom. I've already done that work. There's nothing that you can say to me and ask me that I haven't asked myself. You can't be harder on me than me because you don't know me enough. I know everything. I know exactly how I am when I'm about to procrastinate. I know when I'm not doing the hard work, even when I feel like it. Shout out to Hamza. I know exactly who I am. You don't. So who the hell are you to tell me what I can and can't do? The next thing that you can do to escape is simply delete the apps. Get off of them. If you realize that it's hurting you and it's fucking up your mental and it's messing up your inner peace, just get off the apps, delete them. Now, you don't have to go cold turkey. If you have Bumble, Tinder, and Hinge, just delete one of them or delete two of them and then slowly build from there. Don't just be like, okay, I watched this video. He said delete the app, so I'm going to delete all of them. Well, now you don't know what to do because you have a system. You probably wake up, you check the apps, and then you're like, okay, well, now I don't know what to do. You have to replace your old system with something new. So slowly start doing that. Delete one app. And then now every time you feel the urge to get on the app, do some push-ups. Then the next month, you delete another app and you're still doing push-ups, but now you're going to do sit-ups as well. If this is your old system here, as this system starts to slow down, you have to have a new system going that's going to fill that power vacuum. Because if not, boom, now you're in no man's land. And when you're in no man's land, everybody is shooting at you. You don't know who's your enemy or who's your friend. You don't want to be in that position. That brings us to our final point here is you have to self-improve. That is the basis of all of these videos that I make. It's not about getting girls or making money. It's all about self-improvement. Self-improvement often comes in cycles. It comes with self-criticisms, self-acceptance, and then finally self-improvement. Self-criticism is, hey, there's a problem. There's something that I'm not doing well. I'm not sleeping well. I'm not feeling well. I need to fix this. No one is coming to save me. That's self-criticism. You realize that there's a problem and then you're trying to fix it. Self-acceptance is, hey, look, I understand the level that I'm at, but I need to get to the next level. I understand that there's a problem. I understand I'm at level 1 with said problem. What do I need to do to get at level 2? And that journey from level 1 to level 2 to level 3 to level 10 is the self-improvement journey. It never ends. It never stops. Even when you die, it doesn't stop because the legacy that you leave is going to be the thing that propels your children forward and puts them in better standings and puts them in better positions. Self-improvement is not selective. It's absolutely necessary. You have to do it because if you don't, your life is going to be miserable. If you do, your life is going to be miserable, but at least you're going to have something to show for it. So self-critique, self-accept, self-improve. I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace.